Alright, so AC. We want some AC. It's hot today. Well, it's hot in here. It's cool outside, but it's hot in here. So, greetings from Marlow, Oklahoma. It is Monday, March 18th, and I am hanging around the house this week. Critter sitting primarily. I'm not going very far, no matter what we do, unless I have to like go get Bill if his truck breaks down or whatever. But he's gone to Louisiana, so I need to stay here and take care of critters, which is what I am doing. It's what I'm actively engaged in. And we had a situation day before yesterday where a coyote came in daylight, like about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and tried to get one of the chickens. Luckily, the chicken got away, and they're all over here under my rose bush. All 7 of them are huddled up down there because there's a buzzard flying around. Anytime there's a big bird flying around, they'll get under that bush and just hide. So that's what they're doing. So I feel like now is probably a good time to go do my video. And I've been making frequent patrols around the property on my little golf cart thing back there. It's kind of like almost as good as a horse, but not quite. But I don't have to fight with it, and it does what I want it to, and it doesn't argue. And it hasn't bucked me off yet, so, you know, those are all pluses. And I'm fighting a headache. We had crappy weather all weekend, and today we got a high pressure front moved in, but along with it, it's trying to blow my head up. So it'll do me some good to get out and move around, I think, rather than just sit in the house and feel sorry for myself, which doesn't really do much for me anyway. But we're gonna go take just a little run around. I'm not gonna go real far or make a really long video today. So what I've been concentrating on the last couple of days is trying to keep enough human activity around here that the coyotes won't come up in the yard, because it's pretty rare that they do that. We've had it happen a couple of times in daylight, and it's usually when they're really super hungry, or when the mothers have pups that they've got to feed. That's usually when we'll get the coyotes coming around like that. You know, the other day we heard a ruckus outside. The chickens were squawking like crazy, and Molly was in the house going nuts. So I kind of ran out the kitchen door, didn't really think about it, just ran out there to see what was going on. And Bill came running past me, and there was a coyote. He saw it. I didn't see it. So he chased it and took a few shots at it. He happened to have his gun handy, so he didn't hit it. But so we started immediately trying to find all the chickens, and I was missing 3 chickens. I was missing Goldie, Jolene, and Rosie. Rosie is a Rhode Island Red, and Jolene and Goldie are American Goldens or something like that. Some kind of, they've got golden in their name. I forget what they are. They're just chickens, you know, they're egg-laying chickens, but I forget their particular flavor. But anyway, I looked and looked and looked for these chickens. Well, and I was also looking for any sign that they had gotten got, and so was Bill. Well, I found some feathers out beyond the greenhouse, kind of out toward the backside of the property that we can't see because the greenhouse is there. And they looked like Goldie's feathers to me, because they're kind of white. They've got white feathers on the back of them, and underneath they're kind of golden feathers. So it looked to me like the coyote got her. And of course I was just, tore up. I hate that. I hate that they have to be, preyed upon by these damn dogs. So I walked the property several times looking for the chickens, or looking for a sign that they'd been got, because we didn't know if it was one coyote, a pack of coyotes. We didn't know what happened. And after doing this for about an hour, Rosie came out from between the well houses on the north side of the place. So I got her flocked up with the other birds. Then I had 5, so I was only missing 2. That would be Goldie and Jolene. Both of the Goldens were missing. So I thought, well, crap, I hope they didn't get them both. I figured they got one because of the feathers. So I looked, took another walk around, looked really hard, could not find them, called them. They usually come to me when I call them, because they're more pets than they are, They're pretty much pets. They wouldn't come to me. So I thought maybe one of them was still hiding out, because I had found nothing anywhere on the property where there were any more feathers. So I thought, okay, they probably got one of them, but maybe they didn't get the other one. So I was sitting in the dining room. I got French doors in the dining room, and I was sitting there looking at reviewing the security tape, trying to see what happened. We have security cameras up all over. So I was reviewing the tape, and I could see the coyote coming into the yard, coming around the north side of the greenhouse, sneaking in, and it was like 5-ish, 5:30-ish, somewhere thereabouts. And it came up in the yard and tried for one of them and missed it, and then it went running back out, and that must have been about the time Bill hit the front door. Or maybe I scared it coming out toward the back door, I don't know. But it took off and went back around behind the greenhouse. And that was where I had seen the feathers. So I was like, dang. And I had seen on the film one of the Goldens went back behind the greenhouse earlier. So I thought, well, she probably got back there and it probably jumped her and took her. So I'm sitting there reviewing this tape, and finally I just had to have a break. I was like, oh, I can't even see this anymore, my eyes. So I happened to look out the door, and by this time it was dark. We'd already put the other chickens away. The 5 that we knew we had, we put them up in the coop and shut the coop. So I looked out the door, and there's these 2 Goldens walking up like nothing's, like no big deal. I'm like, oh my God, I go running out and get them shoot into the coop real quick. And Bill came running out. We couldn't believe that she got away from this coyote. But I got a pretty good look at it on the videotape. It looked like a young one to me. It wasn't real big. So that might have helped her a lot. Who knows? Intervention from God, whatever. Something happened that saved the chicken from the coyote. So thank God for that. Because really they are pets. They're not just, anonymous egg-laying chickens out there. They are pets. Which I guess that's kind of ridiculous, but the deal is we're on the front side of a blind section, so mostly out in here, every 1 mile there's a road going through. Well, there's not a road going through ours until 2 or 3 miles back. And this whole strip in here is real easy for those coyotes to hide in. It's just farmland out here. So every year we usually get a few sightings of them, or we lose a chicken or 2. So I'm just really, really glad they survived. I hope that it doesn't come back and get them while I'm out here. I don't think it will, because I've been coming out of the house a lot, making a big deal about making a lot of human noise. And generally that will keep them, if they see you coming and going a lot, they'll go somewhere else. It doesn't look so busy. week of this. I'm on my own with these chickens, and I've got to try and keep them all from getting eaten. I considered adapting the chicken coop so I could just keep them cooped up in the coop yard, but the coop yard is really small. I have kept them in there before, but it's really small, and I don't know if I want to torment them like that. I mean, they've got pretty good sense to get under stuff. Chickens are not dumb. A lot of people say chickens are stupid. They are not stupid. They're pretty damn smart, actually. If you ever have a chance to observe them, they're not dumb birds. I mean, they do some stuff that's kind of silly, but for the most part, they're aware of their surroundings. They're not running around just asking to be eaten. And when they have a fighting chance, they will get away from a predator. And they know to hide. So that's what the Goldens did the other night. They went and hid, and they hid until after dark, till they felt safe to come out. Even though they knew I was out walking around calling them and looking for them, they didn't trust that. They waited until they felt safe, and then they came out and came and got me, basically, to let them in their coop. So yeah, they're not dumb. They are not stupid critters at all. Not even. Then I needed to take the truck out and run it. I couldn't start it this morning, so I ended up having to put the battery charger on it, and then I had to plug it in and let the engine heater warm it up. I don't know what's going on with it, if we got a glow plug going out, but it's being really cold-natured, and it's been cool the last few nights. It's been down in the 40s, and this truck doesn't like to start now when it's like under 60 or 80 degrees, probably 80. It likes that, So it's being really cold-natured, but I've got to get it out and run it occasionally, just to keep the battery charged up and make sure everything's okay on it. So that's what I had planned for today. I was going to go earlier today and do my video, and then of course I couldn't start it, so I just had to go to town. I had a eBay sale I had to take into the post office, so I did that in the other truck, and before Bill left, we put the charger on this one. He showed me again how to do it, so if I need to do it while he's gone, I can probably figure it out. I'll probably remember. I don't do this stuff enough to be all that good with all this stuff, even though that's a pretty simple thing. I mean, there's nothing that complicated about putting a charger on a battery. But still, it's not my cup of tea. I work on stuff when I absolutely have to. It's not like I do it for fun, because I don't think it's fun. I consider it work, and work that I'm not necessarily very well suited to do. So, one of those things. But we do what we have to do, right? That's kind of how life works. That must be a feeder out there in that field. Okay. Who is texting me? Yeah. Politicians. So I'm just kind of tooling around the neighborhood. I'll go around another section over and then come back out. I think I can talk that long and not be too boring, maybe. We'll find out. But I wanted you to see how springy it is too. So I think we will run down kind of the back side of the cemetery. I think there's a lot of redbuds in there. There's one over there. You can see how bright pink they are this year. They're almost like a hot fuchsia, all these redbud trees. So this is a really colorful spring we're having. They're all along here on the left side too. trying to run relatively slowly so you can see all this stuff. I wonder if I can. There, it might be give you a little better, more balanced view. Trying to center that road up a little bit. So there's a double wide trailer back in there, and it's up for sale, and you wouldn't believe what they're asking for it. They're asking almost, I'm going to go around this section, I think. They're asking almost $250,000 for a double wide trailer on 10 acres. I hope they get it, you know. I'd like to think our place is worth that. Actually, I think it's worth more than that. If that's what that place is actually worth, ours should be worth more, because we got more land and it's an actual, you know, house, not a trailer, not a double wide trailer. Of course, it's not worth anything until you actually sell it, right? That's the thing about houses. It's all relative. If house prices go up, then your house price goes up. If house prices go down, then your house prices go down. We got critters in the road up here of some flavor. Don't know what they are. Chickens or guineas, maybe. Chickens? No, they're guineas. They act like guineas. So I don't know, you know, people say, oh, my house is worth so much. Well, it is if you sell it, maybe. If that's the value today and you could sell it at value. Guineas don't get out in the road, you silly things. Now, guineas are silly. There are some goofy birds. Chickens make guineas look like nincompoops. Just about every tree that can flower right now is flowering. And a lot of the trees, most of the trees are starting to get their leaves. A lot of them have them already. All this scrub oak stuff is slower to get the leaves on. Cute cat, you better get out of the road. I guess I interrupted his afternoon nap by the road. I don't know if you can see him over here on the left. Maybe, maybe not. There's a bunch of little burrows in this field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them today. Then up here on our right, in about a quarter of a mile or so, we'll get to a tall fence. And all back behind that fence, they have elk and zebras and different kinds of critters. Water buffaloes, I think. I'm not sure what the deal is. Somebody said that they take animals from the zoo and let them just be, you know, chill out and just pasture them for a while to give them a break. I don't know. But this is where that starts. Oh, we've got some elk up close today. Look at the rack on this elk, if you can see him. He's looking at us. I just barely got him in the frame here. There we go. There's the bull, and then there's 2 cows and a calf down here. There's more back at the back of the property, and I think the zebras are probably in the back with them. I'm going on, buddy. He's got briars all tangled up, or wire, one of the two. That's wire. He's got barbed wire all tangled up in his antlers. It ain't good. There's the zebras. They're too far away for me to really turn around and show them to you. They're about 300-400 feet over. They look like little dots on this camera. Well, we got to see a bull elk anyway with barbed wire in his antlers. He must be pretty wild because I don't see anybody out there trying to get that stuff off of him. They'll just probably wait till he sheds them. There's a shed antler out there in the pasture. In Colorado, that's a deal, going out and hunting shed antlers. I never did it. I never knew it was like a deal. It would be fun because I like hunting for anything. You know, rocks, arrowheads, antlers, whatever. I don't care. I just like hunting for stuff. I don't hunt animals anymore though, like, you know, to kill them and eat them. If I had a real yen for elk meat these days, I'd probably just buy some, you know, instead of going out and, you know, killing a whole animal. The last elk I killed was 20 years ago. Longer than that, it was 2000 or 2001. So 22, 23 years ago. I was glad to have it though. There's nothing like elk steak. It's just really good. It's weird though because I don't like venison. I don't care for deer. I don't like the taste of it. You know, it's either, for me, it's either beef steak or elk steak. Those are my two top choices. But I don't have to hunt. So, you know. Nowadays, instead of killing them myself, I have them killed on my behalf, I guess, which is pretty much not the same thing, but it is. I mean, as far as the animal is concerned. I'm sure. But I don't do my own killing anymore of critters for eating. You know, people used to commonly do all their own butchering. And it's a good skill to have. I mean, it's good to know how to do that. If things went sideways and we were unable to obtain meat anymore, which, I mean, it could happen because you realize the two biggest meat production companies in the United States, one's owned by China and the other one's owned by Brazil. That doesn't make me feel very secure about our food chain, to tell you the truth. And I don't know why it's been allowed to happen that way, but, you know, but it has. So that's the pickle we're in. Now, we're a little bit more fortunate here because we can get, you know, locally raised beef. And even though you have to be careful because some of these processors aren't very honest about it. We kind of got screwed on this last one we got. We got about like a fourth, not even a fourth of the steaks that we should have gotten with it. But, you know, it's one of those deals. We went and picked it up and stuck it in the freezer and didn't really pay that much attention. So, you know, we have to take some blame for that because we didn't catch it right away. But I'm never going to let that happen again, I can tell you that. If we buy another half of beef, I'm going to have it all accounted for on paper before. What are you cutting me? And I want to copy that so that when I pick it up, I've got an inventory. I mean, that's the way we used to do it when I was a kid. You didn't just drop off the beef and then come back and get whatever they might have said they owed you. You had a weight and you had, you know, the cuts written down, how many you were going to get of each and whatever. And we, for some reason, we didn't do that. I don't know why. But the next one we're going to definitely do that, because we're not going to get screwed again. I mean, we paid a lot of money for that half of beef, and we ended up mostly with hamburger. In the end, I think we've got one roast left. So we still got a lot of hamburger. We don't need any more hamburger. So what I was thinking of doing is finding, there are some locally operated, basically butcher shops that are owned, the farmers have their own butcher shop. I think there are a few of them in Oklahoma. I may try and figure out where one is and just go by, select the parts I want instead of having to buy a whole half of beef or whatever. If I want a bunch of steaks, I can go buy a bunch of damn steaks. So I think that's what I'm going to do once we get to the point where we need to get more. We got a lot of hamburger to eat before I need to do that, though. Really. We got a lot of hamburger. Way too damn much hamburger. Here's a good red bud tree for you on the right. It's blossomed out pretty nice. I was debating going down to the highway and going around that way, but I'm just going to cut across. Some more red buds on the right. That guy's got chickens and dogs. He's been working on that house for a while. Redoing an old house. It was pretty bad. It was like falling down. But he looks like he's got it pretty well rebuilt. Little longhorn cattle over here. There's a longhorn. Hey, buddy. Oh, girl. That's not a buddy, that's a girl. That was a cow, not a bull. Yeah, buddies don't have udders. So, yeah. So on this side is a pecan orchard. It's always interesting to me, these nut orchards we've got dotting the landscape here. We have a pecan tree on our place, but it's a native pecan, so the pecans are little bitty. The meats aren't very, they're not super meaty. But when Mom and Dad were living, they had a place in town. They had 2 paper shell pecan trees out in the backyard. I've still got pecans that Mom gave me, still frozen. I don't know how long you can keep them, but I need to get them out and see if they're any good anymore and use them. I think I'll do that next week. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch base. It's nice and springy here. We've got green grass and green leaves on a lot of the trees. Not all of them yet, but a lot of them. And the flowery trees are all flowering as they're supposed to do. And I thought I'd just kind of get you caught up on, what's going on. There's not as much going on these days as there used to be, because I'm not hopping in the truck and taking off for Amarillo or Virginia or, Baltimore, Maryland, or wherever. And I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm seriously okay with being retired again. I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit, because I'm finally getting to relax a little bit. Not so much just like sitting around with my feet up, not like that, but I mean just, not worrying about the phone, not worrying about, oh, am I going to get a load or whatever. It's kind of nice not to be stressing out over that stuff. And as it turns out, the eBay thing it's doing okay, so giving us enough supplement that we're doing all right. So I was pretty sure that it would. It's been really slow for the last month and a half because I haven't done anything. I haven't listed anything new. But I've used up all of my space, which is why I've got that shed out there. But I'm not going to get in that for another probably month because I don't know how Bill's going to feel when he gets home, or if we're going to, get all the stuff done on that we need to get done so I can move into it. So I just got to play it by ear, but I'm okay with that. I'm kind of like really good with playing things by ear right now. I'm kind of tired of being on, tight time schedule and being stressed out about stuff. So this is okay. This is pretty good. So go on, gate. There you go, close. All right, I guess that's all I got for today. So thanks for riding along, and I'll see you in the next episode. We'll go somewhere and do something later this week, maybe. If I think of something exciting to go do, I'll let you know. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Thanks for riding along, and I'll see you in the next episode.